8-minute tactical. Hello. As a senior captain on Ladder 16 today, confident in my approach and my abilities to mitigate this incident safely and effectively. Let's begin. As the call comes in, I hear an apartment fire at 1700 Richmond with a reported victims trapped and an initial radio channel. Confirming my members get on the apparatus, they're getting geared up and they're wearing their seatbelts while they do so. Speaking with my EO, confirming he's got a route he wants to take and he's taking into consideration it's 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, so we're expecting heavy traffic with people getting out of school, work, and construction in the area. Checking the MDT, I see the homeowner called. They were cooking, there was a fire. They believe their neighbors are still inside, and we have a wind speed of 15 miles an hour out of the west, so that's going to be a big concern. I'm also going to be looking for that tactical channel that gets assigned, and when I get that, I'm going to repeat that to my firefighters and my EO and make sure that they're all on the same page and that we're moving to that new tactical channel for this incident. I've already begun my risk versus benefit analysis, letting my territory knowledge inform me of the type of structure. It's an apartment, it's residential, it's small, we shouldn't have any access issues. It's in a complex. I see we have 2 hydrants at the beginning, and I'll be able to use the aerial ladder. I'm also thinking of other crews and their response times from their districts. I'm scanning the horizon. I'm looking for a column of smoke or fire on the way so that I can relay that to any other crews. I've made sure I'm on that correct channel and I'm listening for updates. As I go on location, I update my status to on scene. I pull past the structure. I'm on the alpha side. I've got wind to the west, so we'll be placed on the alpha side, staying out of that smoke and remain uphill on that side. And I consider the facts. I've got a 2-story residential newer construction apartment. Fire showing. This will be high probability that we have victims trapped, high probability of good fire spread with a common attic. My own situation is that I'm the first incoming officer, so I'll be taking command of this, and I'll be handled with using all my other companies come in. I see that I have a good amount of crews, and they all seem appropriate at this point. I don't see any additional needs that I'll have. I've decided this will be an offensive strategy. And my initial action plan will be taking care of my firefighters by establishing backup lines, establishing formal RIT on the alpha side to handle firefighter issues, getting that water supply early for civilian life safety. We'll be doing a primary and secondary search of the structure, and I'll have EMS crews on standby. Confinement extinguishment, I want to get up in that attic. I want to cut this off. I see which way it's spreading, so we'll get crews down that delta side. And now I'm ready to give my initial radio report. Ladder 16 on location. I've got a 2-story small residential apartment fire. Fire showing from the alpha side with smoke heading down the delta side of the structure. Engine 1, forward lay from the plug at the entrance to the complex. Establish water supply. Take your cross lay in through the 2nd floor for fire attack on the alpha side. Ladder 16 will be establishing primary search. This will be an offensive fire. Ladder 16 will be establishing Richmond Command. That's my initial radio report. Now I begin to transition into my 360, getting a 4-sided view of the structure. I'm going to tell my crews to begin forcible entry on that alpha door to up the stairs to the fire apartment, but keep it closed so they don't open a flow path and make this worse at that time. And I tell them I'll be right back. Go do my 360. I want to get a view of that Charlie and that Delta side, see how far down this apartment goes. I'm going to be looking in windows for victims. I'm going to be listening for victims. I'm going to have my thermal imaging camera out, checking for any hot spots around the structure, trying to see if I can get an idea of fire spread. I'm going to be looking for utilities so I can have my chauffeur cut those off. We might need to call gas and electric companies because these could be larger shutoffs for those. And I'll be looking for a pool. Maybe there's a car park or anything on the back like that. I just really want to get a 4-sided view. As I come back around the delta side back to the front, I'm going to be looking for the caller, for any building manager, really any sort of subject matter expert I can get while I'm on scene to get more information about these victims that might be trapped. I'll come back up on the radio, Richmond Command to OEC with follow-up radio report. 360 is complete. We do have fire on the alpha side extending to the main apartment. Should be extending down the delta side with the wind going that direction. Ladder 16 will be located on the alpha side, and I have a tick reading of 140 entering in the structure. So that's my radio report, and this is all done as I'm getting ready to begin that primary search. We're gonna enter in the apartment. We're gonna be in an oriented search, which means I'm gonna have my thermal imaging camera. I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on my firefighters. We're gonna go up to the fire as close as we can get, and then work away from it. I'm gonna stand at the doorway to rooms, send them out into that, maybe a room on both sides of me. But I'm gonna keep a real close eye on that, and I'm not gonna leave one firefighter without going for the other one. We're just gonna keep a close accountability inside this apartment. We're gonna do that as quick as we can, and then we'd move to the out of the structure around to the apartment located on the Delta side, which is next to the fire apartment, and finish our primary search there. At this point, I've got my incident action plan, I've got my priorities, and I want to start inserting my crews into that plan. You know, as command, I need to stay calm, I need to keep my span of control. So, Richmond Command to Engine 7, establish a secondary water supply with the plug out on Richmond, pull a backup line off of Engine 16, and back them up for fire attack. Richmond Command to Ladder 7. Ladder 16 has laddered the building. Get up, give me my vent group, vertically ventilate, give me a roof report. We'll set up those fans and you can coordinate that with Engine 16's fire attack. Richmond Command to Engine 33, establish formal RIT on the Alpha side. Throw some ladders around the structure, give me a 360, let me know of any hazards you find, and keep a close watch on Engine 16's traffic. Richmond Command to Engine 6, give me a primary on the first floor and heading down towards Delta exposures. Richmond Command to Ambulance 16 and Medic 6, meet up on the Alpha side with your equipment. Stage your apparatus appropriately so you can exit and be ready to receive victims. Richmond Command to Safety 30, give me a 360 of the building, noting any additional hazards. So I'm inside doing my primary search as I do all this, staying calm, keeping an idea of my crews, talking to them. At every 10 minutes or so, I'm going to ask for a PAR from each crew. I'm going to consider their air usage, how long they've been working, do they need any additional crews. I'm getting to about the limits where I might need to consider calling an additional alarm if this gets away from us, so that's going to be in the back of my mind. I know I can stage them out on Richmond, that won't be an issue. I'm also thinking of flow paths in the structure. As we doing primary search, we're close to the fire. We're going to have to get out of the way for fire attack. This is going to be a small apartment, so we'll be in and out of that room pretty quick. If we find any victims, we can hand them off. If not, we'll continue our primary search elsewhere. Once I finish that, we're going to move out to the Alpha side. I'm going to establish that formal command base. If a district chief arrives at this time, that'd be great. I can give him my formal transfer of command, letting him know, what I've seen, what we've done, and what my future needs are specifically. That's really going to be his primary concern at this point. Make sure he knows it's called Richmond Command. We've been on the TAC channel, what crews are working in IDLH and which ones are outside of that. As we transition and get our benchmarks done, a fire knockdown, primary search complete, we can start transitioning into an overhaul stage, start cleaning the building out, get arson in there. That way we can move everybody out and do a tailboard, start seeing if everybody's okay, and handing out kudos. And I just want to say I hope this is satisfied. I've met this incident with courage, commitment, and compassion, and this concludes my response.